Finally went up on the mountain, and they searched his house, and they found the bodies of 7 kids from the area.
What he did is he took the kids down in the basement by twos, and he made one face into the corner.
Really?
And then he would kill the other one. And then when he was done with that, he'd grab the one out of the corner and kill that one too.
And those were the 7 kids that were missing. And then they brought them out of the woods one at a time, and it just was a terrible thing. It just tore the whole community up.
Said in court that he couldn't take the eyes on him. He could feel the eyes watching.
Well, hello again, everybody. This is So Last Night I Watched. I'm here with Carlos. My name is Ian.
What's going on, Ian?
How's it going, Carlos? Thanks for having me here today.
Hey.
We're smack dab in the middle of October, and we are talking about the Blair Witch Project from 1999. And yeah, I guess we should just start talking about it. We'll get into the logistics as we go.
Time to get spooky.
Yeah. So, was this your first time watching it?
It was, yeah. I've always heard of it. You know, it's always in the pop culture. It's always referenced everywhere.
This is a pretty, I'm holding the Blu-ray to Carlos right now. It has the cover. I remember seeing this a lot. Just Heather Donahue's eyes, and then the Blair Witch Project title above her head.
The symbol, too. It's like a stick figure symbol. I recognize that, too.
Yeah, it's very simple, but it's very recognizable at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know too much going into it, except it's found footage, and it was really big back when it came out. I know that. It was good. It was fine for what it was. I liked it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I do like it. It's not a favorite of mine, but at the same time, I mean, I think it actually is a pretty good one to watch this time of year because they shot this. So they claim that the footage was shot in October of 1994.
That's right, yeah.
And the footage was found a year later.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually shot it in October of 1997.
Oh, interesting.
And you can definitely tell they shot it in October because all the storefronts they go to and whatnot, there's like Halloween decorations and everything.
Yeah.
I think they shot the final scene of the movie on Halloween night.
Oh, cool.
What I read was correct. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, it's kind of cool. They're going to shops and there's Halloween decorations and everything. I thought it was very fitting.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's definitely fall time, like in the woods.
Yeah.
There's no leaves on anything.
Oh yeah.
On any of the trees.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead leaves on the ground and everything.
Yeah.
And at first, I was thinking maybe they just put those Halloween decorations up, but no, I think they just went to the places and they obviously had Halloween decorations because October time.
Were those actors you think that they were interviewing?
So I read that some were and some were not. Some were planted and some were actually So I was telling Carlos earlier yesterday. I really dove into this movie. Really, I've seen this movie before, but I mean now I know a lot more about it than I ever have before. And I watched the movie, and then I watched the movie with the commentary, and one of the directors, Eduardo Sanchez, points out that one of the people they talked to is his sister.
Whoa,
which I thought was cool. It's the one chick where they're like, have you ever heard of the Blair Witch? She's like, I don't think so. My sister went to Blair High School or something like that. I don't know if you remember that. It's like she's like kind of like teenagery.
I remember the mom with the kid.
Right.
That's
yeah.
the most vivid one I remember.
So I think the mom with the kid might have been an act. I don't know. I know some people were. They said they were planted there. Like the one guy who's like, my grandma used to tell us the story of the Blair Witch, to make us go to bed early. That was someone one of the directors knew and just put there.
Oh, cool.
And that was a later addition. I think they shot that later on, from what they say in the commentary. But I think the two dudes fishing were planted. They might have been involved.
They felt the most planted for sure.
Yeah, and I think they were in real life. Again, according to the commentary, like in-laws. It was like the son-in-law and the father-in-law.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They didn't even look. Oh, okay. Well, in-laws. That makes
yeah.
sense. They didn't look alike.
Yeah, but
well, they were probably feeding them lines too, huh? To stick with the script.
They even say in the commentary, it's like, he gives that really Scooby-Doo line, like, "You damn kids will never learn. Stay away from that Blair Witch." That's really the only kind of time in the movie where it kind of, for me, it kind of comes across like that, like kind of hokey.
Yeah.
That's really the only. For me, at least, I don't know about yourself, but that's kind of the one thing I can take away that can kind of make fun of.
Kind of breaks the magic. Almost.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you meddling kids. You and your dog going and investigating mysteries and all that. But I think other than that, I think they were, if they at least not actors, like they were like, you know, planted there to kind of give off. And then I don't think they told the three main people, you know, the film students, quote unquote film students. I don't think they told them that, hey, these people are gonna be feeding you all this stuff, to kind of maybe give like a little more of a genuine reaction when they're interviewing them.
Oh yeah.
The Mary, you want to talk about Mary Brown? We talked about Mary Brown, the crazy chick.
Oh yeah, the old lady.
Yeah. So she, again, according to the commentary, was involved at I don't know if it was some college around there, and where they shot, like somewhere in Maryland, and all this stuff that they say about her, like, yeah, that lady was a lunatic. She's saying she's a ballerina. She's saying that she's like a documentarian of American history. Apparently, she did all of that. That was actually her stuff, and like she was going to college. They said, and they I don't know if this was a joke or not, but they were saying in the commentary that she's the oldest living college student at the time.
God. They also said she was like doing like science experiments or something.
Yeah,
too, like,
yeah.
For some sort of degree.
Yeah, I don't know how they found her. They might have just found her. They went to the college and just found her. I don't know the whole thing about that, but yeah, very interesting chick.
And then she starts describing like the witch, I guess.
Yeah, she claims that she saw the witch when she was a child, and how the witch was like hairy, like had like horse hair.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting.
That was kind of weird.
I think she just made that up, because like that's the only time anyone, even in the behind the scenes, talks about the witch like that. Which was interesting.
And then later on, one of the stick figures shows up, and it's like covered in moss almost.
Yes.
To give like a hairy look to it.
Yes, they
That
call
one was
that the Chewbacca stick in the commentary.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, huh.
yeah, which I thought was funny. I guess I'll save because there's fan theories as to what happens, because the movie just kind of ends.
Yeah.
And there's no answer.
It just straight up ends.
And there are fan theories, a lot I find interesting, and this is the same old. We always say, I guess we'll maybe save that later on down in the discussion, because Mary Brown, there's a theory about Mary Brown, her character. But yeah, so what did you think of the three characters? The three characters are Heather Donahue, Michael Williams, Joshua Leonard, all their real names.
That is cool.
All their real
that.
names. Those are their actual names.
I thought that they did pretty good. Heather's pretty cool. Talks a lot. She's pretty much narrating the whole thing, and they keep on pointing out, you just want to keep on filming. This is just a movie to you, you know?
Yeah. Did you buy that? Did you think that came off natural?
What, when they're saying that?
When they're like, she's
that?
still making movies, man.
I don't know.
Here's your motivation. You're in the woods. There's a witch hunting you. That's your motivation.
Yeah. It was a little cheesy.
I think it's a lot. So I watched Diary of the Dead,
Yeah.
the George Romero movie,
Yeah.
about a month ago. And I think it comes across way better in this than Diary of the Dead. Diary of the Dead was really bad.
Really?
I thought so.
You mean like the found footage aspect?
The found footage aspect was okay in that. It was kind of cool to see it in a zombie way.
Yeah.
You know, like applied to zombies.
Yeah.
But some of the act, dude, like there's this one part where like a chick kind of, she's like, what? You want me to act because you keep recording? Okay. Oh my God. Oh, we're strapped by zombies. It was just like, oh my God, this is so bad.
Yeah.
This is so bad.
A little bit too
And
much flavor on it.
For this, to me, it is kind of like, why are you guys still recording?
That's
Like,
true.
no one would record, but at the same time, we wouldn't have a movie if they stopped recording.
Yeah.
But it comes across better to me in this.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
There's one thing that Mike says that I thought was funny when it's really early on too. He I think it's the first time they get lost, and he's like, "Why are you recording this?" And she's like, "Because I don't know. I want it's like ambiance or something." It's like, and he's like, "Yeah, well, we're making a documentary about a witch, not us getting lost."
Yeah.
Which I
that
thought was
interesting.
I thought was pretty funny,
Yeah.
because that's a very, I could even see myself saying something like what the hell are you like? It's just it's an annoyance that's very realistic to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's kind of cool how like you meet them. They go to pick Mike up one thing that they say in the comment, like when Josh shows up to, I think he just shows up to Heather's house. She's like, "Oh, Mr. Punctuality, good to see you,
Yeah.
Josh." I guess she actually, that's a lot of sarcasm. I guess Josh was actually late,
Oh yeah.
so she's
definitely.
like making fun of him.
Felt very 90s in the beginning too.
Yeah.
All the cars and
that's
the
why I like-
clothes and everything.
I think that's why I like it too.
Yeah.
I like that 90s aesthetic.
The 90s vibes.
They say also in the commentary that there's like cars that were manufactured after 1994, and one that I thought was funny.
Oh.
Someone I guess on the internet, like Mike, when they're grocery shopping, Mike holds up a power bar. He's like, "Oatmeal raisin," and one of the directors said, "Yeah, so apparently the oatmeal raisin flavor was introduced in 1996. Apparently that's been proven." But, you know, and I was like, "Dude, how did someone find that out?"
For
Because this is
real.
like 20 plus years ago. That's amazing that someone somehow found out. Like Power Bar, they actually had to, I guess, get rights to use Power Bar
Oh, huh.
as well since there's a brand. But he's like, yeah, someone actually factually found that the oatmeal raisin flavor was not introduced until
Jesus.
1996.
Inspector Gadgets.
I
out there,
know.
man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it definitely really, it's really like later on, Mike's talking about Cal Ripken, 2,130 games next season. I won't see it because I'm gonna be stuck in the woods, and it's very. I was like, I had to go look that up because I know there was this big Cal Ripken was a baseball player for the Baltimore Orioles, and his really big thing was he had the most consecutive games played, and in 1995, which would have been a year after 1994, obviously, he broke it. It was Lou Gehrig set the record with consecutive games with 2,130 games consecutively played.
Whoa.
So, and it was a big deal. Everybody knew, like, you know, Cal Ripken keeps doing this, he's going to break the record. And it was like one of like ESPN's most watched MLB games ever when he did it and stuff.
Whoa.
It was a huge deal.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool little throw in there. And it makes sense, you know, Baltimore Orioles filmed in Maryland. I'm like, it makes sense that he'd be a Cal Ripken fan.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, what do you think of Heather?
I liked her.
Yeah,
Yeah. At a certain point, she can get a little annoying.
yeah,
But I thought she was a pretty good lead.
yeah. They say, and I've also read that the initial cut of this was anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours long.
Whoa.
And apparently a lot they cut was Heather. Just
Oh,
kind of,
okay.
you know, doing her thing and kind of screaming around, you know, and just being Heather.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun. I find her to be a funny character because she kind of comes across a little as like a pretentious film student.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was
I
getting
like-
those vibes.
Like when she's the only thing they really film is in front of the graveyard. She's like, you know, there's a strange quantity of children buried here in the 1940s. Why they're here, the townspeople don't really seem to know. Or some, you know, like that kind of.
She definitely like puts it on.
Yes. Yeah.
She reminded me of somebody. I don't remember who, but I know somebody just like that.
Like in real life.
Yeah, that
Oh, that's
like
funny.
talks just like her.
Oh, that's funny.
It was weird.
That's the thing too. You could see yourself meeting these people in real life.
Yeah,
At least I
very real
could.
characters.
You know, like
Yeah.
they're very just like, you know, I could see, like, if I were ever to go to a get together, I could see myself, like, you know, just chatting with these people or just, you know, like, hey, what's up, man? Like,
Yeah.
you know, just like really, because yeah, that's what they were. They were just, you know, pretty just normal people.
Just chilling out in the woods.
Yeah, just chilling out in the woods, just, you know, just walking around. But yeah, so the Blair Witch Project, that's what that's what at least Heather's calling it initially. It's about this Blair Witch legend.
Which, is that a real legend, or is this just for the film?
I believe it's just for the film.
Okay.
They made before the movie came out on Sci-Fi Channel, they aired this thing called Curse of the Blair Witch, which is on this Blu-ray,
Oh.
and I watched it last night, and they really like build up some lore. It was kind of confusing at first to me when people are talking about it. So I'm like, okay, so there's this witch. I think they call her Ellie Keeter or something. In the, like, around the 1850s, somewhere around there. But then they started talking about this guy in the 40s named Rustin Parr, who and I'm like, okay, so wait a minute, like, Which, like, so what's going on? Is it Rustin Parr? Is there a witch? Like, which one is it? And apparently it's all this kind of line, it's kind of chronological. Like, the first initial reaction of it is the chick, Ellie Keeter, I believe the name was. She went and, like, drew blood from kids in the town of Blair. And people think, going back on it, that it was just a form of alternative medicine. Like the kids might have been sick or something, and that's how she was trying to...
Like bleeding.
Yeah, like bloodletting, you know?
Yeah.
And that freaked out the townspeople, and they claimed her to be a witch, because I'm sure that was, very prominent in those, the Salem witch trials and whatnot. So they banished her from the town into a very harsh winter in the woods, and she disappeared. And then the next winter, all the kids and even more kids disappear. Like half the town's kids disappear.
Oh, jeez.
And all the townspeople just basically abandon Blair. And they say never to speak of her name ever again. And then something about, I guess, little instances would happen between that and the Rustin Parr guy. Like some girl, because I guess they reestablished the town, but they call it Burkittsville. Which I believe is an actual town.
Oh, okay.
A guy I watched on YouTube, he was in Maryland, and he just went to the cemetery that they shot that scene in, which is apparently I think it is a real place, because they say in the commentary that's the graveyard, the cemetery is the only place they actually shot in Burkittsville.
Oh, okay.
And they say how, like, the town sign was getting stolen a lot at the time and stuff, so it must be an actual place. But little instances of, like, a girl drowning in a creek, and 11 people saying that they saw some ghostly hand drag her into the creek, and that's why she drowned.
Heck no.
And then some girl disappearing. She got in the woods. She got taken by some woman to an abandoned house, and the woman left saying she'd be back, and then hours go by, and the little girl's just like, screw this, I'm leaving. And in the meantime, a search party was sent out, and they all disappeared. So the girl comes back, the search party disappears, so another search party gets sent out.
Oh, no.
And they find the original search party disemboweled in the woods with bound at the feet and hands.
Whoa.
And, like, markings on their heads and stuff. So they go back to town to tell people what happened. So then they go to retrieve the bodies, then the bodies are gone.
Oh, is that the story she was telling? It was like on the creek, kind of.
Yes, that's it. Did Mary Brown talk about that in the movie?
Heather.
Okay.
Heather was the one explaining it, I think.
Yes, that is it. And then the whole the old guy talks about Rustin Parr. He was like a hermit in the mountains, and he comes to town when, like, a lot of kids. This is in the 1940s. A lot of kids are disappearing in the town, and nobody knows why. And then one day, Rustin Parr comes down from the mountain, and he goes into a market and just tells everyone, "Well, I'm finally finished." And people are like, "What the hell does that mean?" So a search party goes up to his little house in the woods and find all the kids dead.
Oh, God.
Disemboweled and whatnot. And they arrest Rustin Parr, and he says that voices in his head, a woman's voice in his head made him do it. And he claims that it's the Blair Witch and this and that.
Heck no.
And then, and then it gets brought to pretty much the present day of when the movie takes place in 1994. So yeah, it's kind of establishes this background, this folklore.
So that makes sense. The witch is telling him to go and kill all these people.
Yeah.
That makes more sense for the ending.
And then, well, it makes a lot of sense for the ending too, because the one guy says, he would kill them, like he would take them in pairs. He would kill one and make the other one stand in the corner, facing away from them, because he didn't like their eyes watching him, which again gets brought up. Ties in all together with the ending again.
Oh, so was that his house at the end?
I don't know. I guess there's child handprints all over the place.
Yeah.
So it very well could be.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. But yeah. Then they go. I forget what the two fishermen guys say, but I think they I think they talk about the creek as well.
Mm-hmm.
About how interesting things happened in the creek and all that. And that's what they know going into it. And Yeah, then they go off into the woods. I'm trying to think of they're basically before they go in, they stay at a motel, and they like kind of they get drunk kind of.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
kind of
Yeah.
filming each other.
Yeah.
That's a funny little scene. You kind of like seeing that they kind of get along with each other for the most part and everything.
Buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like Heather and Josh knew each other from film school, and Mike's kind of like the sound guy. He's kind
Yeah.
of the one that takes care. Like he's the one recording the sound. They keep talking about the DAT. Like, okay, do you think the DAT's gonna make it over the creek? The DAT, I had to look it up. It's a digital audio tape,
Oh,
which I guess
okay.
was really big back then. I don't know. I doubt it's even used anymore.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Heather's the director, Josh is the camera guy, and then Mike's the sound guy,
Okay, yeah.
which is
I saw Mike
Perfect.
sitting on the floor with a mic a couple times.
yes, yeah, definitely. But yeah, and I think it's kind of the juxtaposition of they have a 16 millimeter camera and then a video camera as well.
Yeah.
And the 16 millimeter, for me, it's easy to always know when it's 16 millimeter because it's in black and white,
Mm-hmm.
and then the video's in color.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
That was interesting that you would use two different cameras. I guess, was she intending the 16 to be like the film and then the other is just the behind the scenes?
I think so. Yeah.
That must have been what she was thinking.
Yeah, I think so.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I think it kind of works.
Yeah. Made for a couple creepy shots when it's showing in black and white.
Yeah.
All the stick figures.
The Mary Brown scene, Josh actually filmed that, and he filmed it out of focus.
Oh.
That's why he can't really. And I think it does work to its. What a cat! I think it works to its advantage because she's a really weird looking chick,
Yeah.
and just seeing her out of focus even makes it more weird.
Yeah.
Some people, I watched this guy I watched on YouTube. His main thing is VHS collecting, but he's just a really big fan of horror. He'll talk about like contemporary Blu-rays as well, and he would make these kind of like little like exposés, documentaries. I don't know what you want to call them. Under the YouTube channel Horror is Dead, he made one about like the Halloween remakes that Rob Zombie did.
Oh, okay.
And he did one about found footage movie, and he even said earlier, it's like, yeah, he called it like they poison film,
Yeah.
and he was really, it's like, just because someone's so like inept in their craft doesn't mean that it's good. And that's what he's referring to. It's like, oh, because like they kind of say that in the commentary too, like, yeah, the way that he shot it out of focus makes it even more unsettling. And the guy's just sort of like, well, yeah, but it's a mistake. It's a mistake, and it just kind of shows like you guys had no clue what you were doing.
Well, but that's like the point is they're film students. They're not like a Spielberg
Yeah.
making this film.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like I get where the guy's coming from, but at the same time, it still makes it really creepy.
Yeah.
You know?
Makes them real. Makes
Yeah.
them real, not actors, real characters.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. I thought for me, I did think it worked,
Yeah.
even though the craft is pretty shitty. I do think it works.
Now, sometimes you get those other found footage films where it like goes in and out of focus on purpose,
Oh,
and you can
okay.
tell that it's like being used as an effect. But
Have
like
you-
in this, it's just a guy making an honest mistake.
What other found footage movies have you seen?
Cloverfield comes to mind.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
The
Yeah.
one you were saying, George Romero's
Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead comes to mind. What else comes to mind for found footage?
I totally forgot about Cloverfield. Do you like Cloverfield?
I like the second one
I still haven't seen that. Is that the one with John Goodman?
with John Goodman. That one's really
I need
good.
to watch that one.
The first one's just okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since the theater. I remember actually being kind of let down.
Yeah,
Quiet.
it is a pretty big letdown.
Yeah.
I think T.J. Miller's in that one.
Right.
He's funny.
Yeah, that was before he kind of was a really more
Got
popular.
canceled.
Yeah, before he got canceled. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, we months ago we talked about Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, when was that one? That was like 70s?
Yeah, I think it was shot in '79, came out in 1980.
That must be why our buddy from work was saying, "Oh yeah, Blair Witch, that's not the first found footage."
Yeah, it's not. No, dude. That's one thing the guy I was talking about on YouTube, with the Horror is Dead channel. He brings up there was a lot of stuff. In fact, there was one that came out the year before. It was called The Last Broadcast. I
Oh.
haven't seen it. I don't even really know it. It's something about going into the woods, but it's also framed kind of like Cannibal Holocaust, how it's like it is a movie, but there is found footage in it. The whole
Okay,
thing is not found
yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying like, oh, it just rips off the last broadcast. And guys like, what about Cannibal Holocaust? What about all these alien abduction tapes that came out in the 80s and 90s? Like there was a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that came out before Blair Witch. It was the one that definitely had the most success. I mean, it was a mainstream success. It was the 10th highest grossing movie of 1999.
Well, everybody attributes the found footage genre to Blair Witch. That's what I think of.
And it's funny because when it came out, it didn't really there wasn't a found footage craze. It wasn't until like 10 years later Paranormal Activity came out. That's when we started getting all this found footage stuff.
Paranormal Activity. Yeah,
I've
that's
never
another
seen
one.
it.
Really? I think I watched the first like 3 of them. They were good. They were
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Spooky.
Which one would you say you like more?
I don't know. I hardly remember them.
Yeah.
They all kind of blur together.
Yeah, I could.
I just remember a lot of like cameras in like the corner of the room, looking
Yeah.
down on the kids and all that good stuff.
It
and
was
spooky stuff happening.
At least with the first one, I remember it was a big deal. I remember like kids at school being like, "Yeah, we're going to see Paranormal Activity tonight." Yeah, ooh, yeah. Like it was a big deal.
I think it
I
was
know
like,
that made a lot of money too.
I think it was like 2 or 3. I went to the theater with my younger cousins, and they were making fun of me the whole time because I had my eyes covered, had my hands over my eyes. Oh, I can't watch the next scene.
That's hilarious.
They never let me live that one down.
There was a bunch. There was like Area 51. There was Apollo 11 or something. Like there was
What?
all these found footage movies that came out after Paranormal Activity, and I haven't seen any.
Well, but going back to like why do we attribute Blair Witch to be the found footage originator? Is that because it's the one that's completely shot all the way through as found footage?
No,
Because
because
Cannibal Holocaust, like you were saying, it's a film.
It is,
with
yeah.
found footage.
yeah, no, because again, like there were alien abduction tapes or footage.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, and it just
You
goes
know,
all the
yeah,
way
like
through.
yeah, it's definitely not the first, but I think it's just because it brought found footage into the mainstream. I think that's why people kind of attribute it to being the first one. It's because no one really knew about. I mean, really, the alien abductions that was only for like, alien UFO aficionados.
Yeah.
Because I think that got big around this time too, late '90s, because of like the X-Files and the boom of the internet. You could find this stuff a lot easier.
That's what you're saying is the internet had a big role to play in marketing this one.
Yeah, at least one of the directors claims that if they didn't put up their website, they thought the movie would not have done half the success it actually had.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the earlier found footage films didn't take off.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah,
didn't have the viral marketing.
exactly. I think the internet has a lot to do with this movie's success because, people thought these people were dead. They played it off incredibly well. You go online, you can find all these missing posters of them. And it's
what?
if you've seen these people, please call something county, police department.
Whoa.
And please, any information. It's like really, they did a really good job. And
That's called something when you have like the story taken online, basically, to make it more real and grounded, and you have to like find secrets and try to unravel the story a little bit more, going through like you're saying missing posters.
Yeah.
And Cloverfield was really good at that.
Yeah.
I listened
yeah.
to a podcast just about Cloverfield and how
okay.
they like put up documents about like satellites dropping down to Earth, and you had
Yeah.
to like go read through those to figure out what's going on with the whole story.
I remember that. I remember thinking that was really cool.
Yeah, I guess the podcast I was watching, they would say, "Oh yeah, this is in game. This is that's the term they kept using is this is in game. It has to do with the whole lore behind Cloverfield."
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's kind of fun too when you kind of add like bonuses like
Yeah.
that to add on to the story.
Yeah, and they didn't reveal the actors, I think, until after the movie got a wide release. So people did actually, there was no which they did for Cannibal Holocaust too.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think Cannibal Holocaust we've talked about. There was a trial. The director got charged with obscenity and murder, and they actually had to bring the actors into the trial to prove that he didn't kill them. And that's one thing too that the Horror is Dead guy brings up. He's like, yeah, this was done before Cannibal Holocaust. Blair Witch didn't break much new ground.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it's just, and again, they were real people. They used their real names. You know, I think that also threw a lot of people off. And then this Curse of the Blair Witch, they aired this on the Sci-Fi Channel, and they interview like they show like pictures of them, like family pictures of the actors. They interview Michael Williams' brother, and they really play it off. They
Curse of the
really,
Blair Witch, is it like a documentary type
yeah,
deal?
kind of like explaining like they even like they filmed, and I even had to look it up because I'm like, this can't be real. Like 1940s footage of Rustin Parr in jail with like all these news reporters like, oh, did the witch make you do it? Oh, you know, how'd you get the kids in the woods? Blah 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 blah.
What?
And yeah, it looks really legitimate. Like these
That's
guys did a
cool.
pretty good job at actually making this look real.
That's fun.
Because I had a film class in high school, and I remember we were talking about horror movies around this time of year, and we actually watched some. We watched like The Ring, and I think we watched Psycho, and a few others. And I remember, so we were just talking about, we were just having a general discussion on horror movies, and someone brought up the Blair Witch Project, and I remember the teacher saying like, oh yeah, when that movie came out, all of my students thought it was real. Everyone thought it was real. All these teenage kids thought it was real.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and you know that definitely I think attributed to its success for sure. You know, people going like, okay, you got to go see this movie. My parents saw it at the Tower Theater here
Oh,
in
that's
Sacramento,
cool.
California.
Hell yeah.
It's my dad. I think it was before I got a wide release.
Oh, cool.
Because they got a wide release late July, but it was shown to some theaters in mid July.
Oh, okay.
And I think the Tower Theater might have been one. I don't know. I didn't bother. I should have looked that up. Like Tower Theater, Blair Witch Project.
Tower always gets early access to all those.
Yeah,
good ones.
exactly. Because it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 1999. Like it was, you know, kind of had a buzz going on around it. And my mom told me that she was really horrified by it, which that's like a big thing. Some people said they really thought it was real and really scared them, and the other people had the complete opposite. Just like, I don't get it. It's just people wandering around the woods. I don't get it.
You sent me that Family Guy clip, and that's
Yeah.
all that I could think
It's
about.
funny, yeah, and I think it's funny. I think
Yeah.
it's funny. The whole joke is Brian, the dog in Family Guy's, he's acting as a seeing eye dog, and he takes this guy to the movies, and they go see the Blair Witch Project, and Brian's just like, okay, nothing's happening. Something about a witch. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention earlier. Nothing's happening. They're talking about a map. Nothing's happening. It's over, and a lot of people look pissed. It's a
And
funny.
that is the movie.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
going through the woods,
Yeah.
maybe arguing a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing is that's what made Jaws so amazing is he never showed the shark. And this film, well, even at the end of Jaws, you get to see the shark at the very end for
Right.
the climax.
Right.
This one straight up all the way through, all left to the imagination.
Yeah.
You never see a witch or anything. You see
Yeah.
like piles of rocks that she might be leaving,
Yeah.
or the stick figures, but everything else left up to imagination.
Yeah.
And even like the sounds at night that they kept hearing, I don't know. I couldn't even really hear them. Maybe I didn't have the volume loud enough.
I couldn't really hear it either. Apparently, the filmmakers say they have boom boxes out there with like kids playing, like the sound of children.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess like they got it from one of their moms was like babysitting, so they just recorded or something like that. But I couldn't. Yeah, I can't really hear it either. But apparently it's there.
One of the scariest parts was when they woke up at night to go investigate the sounds, and they started running
Yeah.
after each other,
Yeah.
and Heather looks to the left and says, "What the fuck is
Yeah.
that?" That actually legitimately scared me.
Apparently there was one of the crew members dressed up as a witch, and they actually were there, and they were actually I guess I don't know because that whole scene's only in 16 millimeter.
Yeah.
So
it's
Josh
so
has the
black and
16
white.
millimeter, and Heather has the video. And I
Mhm.
think maybe the video camera wasn't on, and that's why they don't show. I think because I think they were gonna show it, and I guess Heather didn't turn on the video camera. I don't know.
That
'Cause
made
they
it
claim
even
that there was
scarier.
one of the crew members dressed up as like a witch and like a white sheet or something with like a mask on of some kind, and they didn't tell them that, and that was like Heather's
Oh.
genuine reaction.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why it was
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah.
That felt like a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Definitely. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. one of our John, who's been on our little book club we have here. He talked about the Scary Movie parody. I always think of that too when I watch this. Have you seen it? In the first Scary Movie they parody it? They go running around the woods.
Really?
And then like they make fun of like the scene where Heather's talking to the camera and she's all crying and snot coming out of her nose and everything.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen that one in a long time.
Me too. I want to watch it again. I remember liking some of the Scary Movies.
Scary Movie 3 was on loop in my house.
I saw that in the theater.
That's the best
That's the
one.
one where they the Ring and Signs, I think they're
That's the
making fun
one
of.
with the guy with the special hand, right? Or am I thinking of 2?
I think that's 2.
Oh,
The one
okay,
and the guy in
maybe
the
I'm
wheelchair
thinking
that
of
keep
2.
making fun of each other.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that one's funny.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, okay.
And then the tree busts through the window
Oh
and he
my
starts rolling him
God.
up like a blunt.
He smokes them. It's a marijuana plant or something? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, something goofy like maybe it is a tree. I can't remember. But yeah,
Fucking smokes him.
that one
That's
has
so
its
funny.
moments.
I love that one.
Yeah,
Grab my
I like
good hand.
the beginning with the Exorcist part.
Oh yeah.
That part's
He
pretty
just says,
funny.
"Fuck this shit."
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck this." He just runs out. Yeah,
Who's that actor in the beginning?
James Woods.
That is James Woods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
James
that
Woods.
yeah, that was funny. Yeah, yeah. It's it's a very subjective film. I feel like.
Did you like the stick figures? Did they work for you again?
I think so.
I think they've spooked me.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
You know, they're
the Chewbacca one.
yeah, and
That one scared me.
they're everywhere too. You know,
Yeah.
that one part too. Josh is like, "Oh fuck, man, I didn't even see these ones." And it's like, oh boy,
Yeah.
it's like they're just
Are they just
everywhere.
appearing? Is that why you didn't see them a second ago?
Yeah.
Are they just appearing right now?
Yeah.
That's kind of spooky.
There is really like interesting little things in this movie. Like Josh's stuff gets covered in slime, apparently. I don't know if you caught like they're talking about it. Like they go back to where they set up camp, and Josh is all pissed off. He's like, "Man, my stuff's everywhere." And then like
Yeah.
he's like, "And then someone spilled all my water." And then Mike's like, I think that's slime, man." And then he's like, "What?" And then he's like, "Oh, dude, it is." And he's like, "No, someone poured water all over my stuff." And he's like, "Oh no, wait, that is slime. What is that?" He's like, and it's just like, it's like, ugh, you know, it is really weird.
Yeah. And then I thought when they lost the map that maybe the witch took it out of her pocket or something.
It's my favorite part of the movie.
But then it
my
just
favorite.
turns out that
Not
he
gonna
threw
lie,
it in
everything with the
creek.
map is my favorite part of the movie.
Really?
That's my favorite, especially when you find out what happens with the map. That's my favorite part of the movie. That's
Yeah.
like by far, like that's the best scene of the movie in my opinion.
Why do you throw it in the creek?
Because okay, so that whole scene. All right, I'm gonna try to go through it. So they're walking across a creek,
Yeah.
and well, actually, no, we already established that the map is lost
That's right.
because I think they wake up, they see the piles of rocks, and they're all weirded out. So like, let's get the hell out of here. And even before that, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they get lost initially before things start going wrong in the woods.
Yeah.
And Mike's all like, "Well, why? Like, you know, like, what are we doing?" And Heather's like, "Well, you know, the map says this." He's like, "All right." He even says like, you know, I'm putting he's like looking at it. He's like, "This is all Greek to me. I have no."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm putting my trust in you." She's
Yeah.
like, "Okay." And he's like, "But at the same time, I don't know if I fully trust you." Like, and that's the whole time where he's like, "You know, why are you filming it? You know, why are you filming us getting lost? This is a documentary about a witch."
Yeah.
And so they've already established that they've gotten lost and that Heather's the only one who really kind of believes that the map is actually helpful.
Yeah.
Mike is just like, "I don't know what the hell I can't direct us with this map." So Heather's kind of the map person. I think Josh does try as well because they wake up, they see the piles of rocks, they're weirded out, they want to go. And then we come to realize that Heather doesn't have the map.
Yeah.
And Josh has the video camera and he's focusing on her. He's like, "What do you mean you don't have the map?" She's like, I don't have the map." He's like, "Well, where could it be?" And she's like, "I don't know." He's like, you know, it's a really good argument where, you know, he's like, "I don't want to go into your pants and pull the map out, Heather. Seriously, where's the map?" She's like, "I don't have it." And it's just, again, to me, the arguing is really real.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like real arguing. You know, I've argued a lot in my life, and it's like these feel like arguments I could have with people.
Yeah.
You know,
They make
like
good points.
like especially, you know, when they're getting fed up, and like Heather's like, well, like she's telling Josh, I gave you the map. He's like, and I gave you back the map, Heather. I gave you back the map. It's just like, it just feels like they're just so fed up, you know, and just like at their breaking points.
Yeah.
Like I really buy it.
Well, because I think Josh, he's all like, I gotta be at work at
Yeah.
tomorrow at 9 a.m.
And I can relate to
Why are
that
we
too.
still
It's like,
out
dude, I
here?
want to get lost in the woods and not show up to work. That's gotta
For
like that
real,
would cause so much stress on my mind. I don't even like missing work in general, let alone because I'm lost in the woods. And they're all kind of like, you know, they're like, you know, we can't get lost in this day and age. There's no way we can get lost. Like, you know,
Yeah.
someone's gotta find us. You know, this and that, and people are gonna notice we're not back home and this and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we established that the map is missing, and that no one knows what happened to it, and they're crossing a creek. And Mike just starts laughing. He just starts laughing. He just starts cracking up.
Yeah.
You know, and like Heather's like,
losing
"Is
it.
that Michael laughing? Michael, I don't think I've seen you laugh in the past 3 days," or something like that. She's like, "I haven't seen you laugh in days." And it just comes across like he's just laughing. It's like we're just out here in the woods, lost, and we're crossing over a creek. He's just like, you think he's just laughing just because like this is so stupid.
Yeah.
So they get across the creek, I guess, kind of, what do you call it? Not so well. I guess they all get their shoes wet and everything, and they're all, and again, Mike's still laughing, and Heather's kind of getting a little defensive. She's like, you know, it's really nice to get, you know, at first it's kind of lighthearted. She's like, oh yeah, thanks for all laughing at me, you know, because I got my, and then, you know, they're all like, hey, you know, we're just trying to have a good time and blah 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 blah. And Mike's, you know, still just kind of laughing. And then the map, she's like, okay, so like, when you guys take the map? And then Josh, like, he's just like, I don't have it, man. You know, I don't have it. And like, she's okay, but you know, if you guys do, you know, it's okay. You know, it's just like they're trying to keep their cool.
Yeah.
And you can tell like they're just really just, you know, trying to just like forget about it, but at the same time, you know, they still want to know what happened to the map. And Josh gives her like the funniest finger ever. He's just like, he walks away, he's just like,
Yeah, it was a really weak finger.
it's like, yeah. They even mentioned it's like, yeah, the lazy finger. It's like this. It's like, he's just like,
It's almost like he didn't want to give him the finger.
yeah, exactly. And then Heather gets really, she's like, you know, it's really nice to get laughed at because, you know, my shoes are wet and I have to deal with that all day. And then Josh is like, look, like, you know, all our shoes got wet. We're laughing at the situation, okay? And then, yeah, and then, you know, and they're like, I don't have the map. I don't know what to tell you. And Mike's just laughing. He's like, I'm sorry. Like, that fucking kid, it's fucked up, but I kicked the map in the creek yesterday. I kicked that fucker it was useless. I kicked that fucker in the creek. And he's just laughing his ass off. And he's just like, it's just, and it's like, is he kidding or is he actually serious? And they even asked that, like, Mike, are you kidding? Mike, are you fucking kidding? And then that whole dynamic totally does a 180, and it's just from people kind of having a lighthearted discussion to just like screaming at each other.
Yeah.
And well, I'm sorry, what was your original question? I totally went off on all that. Did you ask me if like his actions of kicking the map in were justified? Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Why would he do that?
So
That's
I
so
think
goofy.
because I think honestly, like, I think Mike has a point. He says it was useless, and it
Yeah.
kind of was.
Yeah.
It kind of was. It didn't get them anywhere. They still
Yeah.
got lost, even though they were following the map. Would
That's
I have kicked if I were in his shoes, and would I have kicked it in the creek? No, that's a little excessive. But
Yeah.
I would have said the same things he did. It's like, this is getting us nowhere.
But then it's also, maybe is that the witch telling him to kick it in the creek?
Oh, that's a good.
Ooh.
That's one thing too. There's this it's the only deleted scene on discovered footage theories of the Blair Witch. It's the only deleted scene on this, which it'd be cool if someone found all the deleted. Some people have found more deleted footage of this film and put it online. But it's like they're in the tent, it's at night, and they're just kind of talking. It's like, who's doing this? Are rednecks doing this? You know, like Josh thinks it's like people fucking with them.
Yeah.
And
I
one
think
thing
they said, haven't you ever seen Deliverance?
yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that Mike brings up, because it's like, like, you know, just looking at it, I'm putting myself in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would I be thinking is going on? I'm like, Josh has a really good point. It's probably like the townspeople probably fucking with them. And then they bring up like, but we didn't tell anybody we were out here. But then it's like, well, maybe they followed them. You know, maybe
Yeah.
they follow them, they sneakily follow them into the woods.
Yeah.
And then one thing though that Mike brings up when Josh says that, he's like, "Yeah, man, that doesn't explain why we're lost though." And it doesn't. It's like, why the hell did they get so lost?
Yeah.
You know, it's really weird.
The
And they
witch
go,
was confusing them.
they go south, like, because they have the compass. They go south one day, and there's this one scene where they like just walk in a circle, and that's a really good scene too, where like they're just like, oh god, it's the same creek, it's the same log, and then they're just like, no, it's not, and then she's like, oh god, it is. And you can just hear they're just so like defeated,
Yeah.
and I buy it. I think that actually, like, they did walk all day or something. They were really tired. I think that might have added maybe to their realism.
That makes sense.
But yeah, man, that whole, again, like, a lot of, again, they make fun of in family, something about a map, but it's like, to me, that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just so,
It adds conflict.
yeah, and
when
like
they start screaming at each other.
Josh and Mike kind of get into, they tussle a little bit,
Yeah.
and like just some of the things they say. He's like, Mike's like, listen to me. We were on yesterday. You couldn't name the river we were on, this and that. And she's like, I understood the map, and you did. Just because you didn't understand the map, that was our one way out of here, and you just totally screwed us. It's just so. It's just the things they say to each other. Going back to when they initially lose the map, like Josh is like, that's like the least responsible thing you could have done, man. Like, it's just like, it's just so, yeah. Like, it's like we're a fly on the wall, like watching these people have like these actual, arguments.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, and just slowly losing. And then, eventually, and then it goes into like, okay, can we please just stop fighting, please? All that stuff. But yeah, I think that's really where, and if anything, I don't really get scared by them wandering around. I get scared by the arguments, I get scared by the conflict within them, because that to me is a little more disconcerting.
Yeah. When
For
you
me.
start losing trust in each other.
Yeah, and just like kind of seeing them just like really, yeah, like have this kind of visceral towards each other.
Because they started off as friends in the hotel.
Yeah,
like
they're
you're
all-
saying, drinking,
they're all getting
and being
along.
buddy.
Yeah, but when you're stranded in the woods, it's kind of, yeah, it's like, and they don't have any more cigarettes. They don't, they don't have much food left.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, and then Josh, he like gets lost too. They're like, "Where the hell is Josh?"
Yeah, he just disappears.
And then you hear him screaming.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and they fall. Yeah, so, yeah, Josh disappears. It's just Mike and Heather, and they're still trying to, they have some funny lines. So we went south. That didn't get us anywhere. And, like, they're talking about, well, maybe we should try west or east. And then, like, Mike has this funny line where he's like, which one was the Wicked Witch? Was it the west or the east? And then Heather's like, it was the west. He's like, okay, well, let's go east. It's like, again, like, stuff like that I thought was funny. There's this one part where Josh starts singing the Gilligan's Island theme. They start talking about Gilligan's Island, and it's like, who's the captain? And it's like, Josh, are you the captain? And then Mike's like, wait, stop, you illiterate TV people. It's the skipper, okay?
Yeah, the
It's like,
skipper.
stuff like that's funny.
That is cool.
But yeah, they just make their way without Josh. That's one thing too. They wake up one morning, there's a bundle of twigs, and inside it's like Josh's shirt with like teeth and blood and
I
hair.
couldn't make out what was in there.
I know, it's like it's apparently it is teeth.
Oh, okay.
They actually went to a dentist in Maryland and got teeth, the filmmakers.
Ooh.
And it does look to be hair as well.
I thought it was a nose. I couldn't really.
I know, you
make it
can't
out.
really tell. Some people think it's an eye.
But that was a creepy one.
Definitely.
Just in a bundle of twigs.
Yeah, it is really, it is, and it's, looking through it with the video camera, it is kind of like, ugh, like it adds to like, what is that?
I also added to the realism too, because you can't open up a bundle of twigs and all that stuff and hold the camera steady at the same time, so it like is pointing up in the air almost. The camera.
That's right. Yeah.
And then finally, when she's done screaming and crying about it, she like focuses in on it, and
Yeah.
you get to like see everything.
Yeah. I don't even think she
Like,
tells
ooh.
Mike like. About,
Yeah, I don't think she mentioned it. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's one thing too. There's this part where Josh has the video camera. He's like, I can see why you keep filming. It's like not reality. It's a little pretentious, but at the same time, it's like I get where they're trying to their point. It's like that's maybe the reason why it's like because it's like you're looking through a filter.
Exactly.
They do that in Diary of the Dead too, and it, again, just doesn't work as well for me. It's just yeah. But yeah, so it's just Mike and Heather, and then they find that, and then late at night they hear the calls of Josh, and it's also around this time where Heather makes that video of just her, apologizing to everyone's moms
Yeah.
and whatnot, and kind of taking the blame for everything.
That was good. I like that scene.
Yeah. Again, it's interesting. Heather won a Razzie Award
Whoa.
for worst actress
What?
for like the 1999 or 2000 Razzie Awards.
I don't think she did that bad.
Me neither. Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's the thing with those things, like the Razzie Awards. I remember one time looking up the Razzie Awards, and like one year, all the stuff that was nominated, I was like, I like all these movies, and I like Sylvester Stallone was nominated like every year
Whoa.
for every movie that he was in. It's like, I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of that. I don't even agree with the Oscars a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, and she won too, and I don't think that was deserved. I don't think she was like deserving of a worst actress award.
No.
I thought she was pretty decent.
Yeah, I liked her in this one.
But yeah, and then they follow Josh's screams to the abandoned house, and that's where the movie ends.
That's
The
where it
abandoned
gets
house.
real creepy. That's
Yep.
a good, I don't know, I guess that's climax. Just
Yeah. Have you ever seen that before? Did you know about that?
No, yeah, I didn't know that they
okay.
go to a house at the end. I thought it was
Yeah.
just the woods.
Yeah.
Like Brian the dog was saying.
Yeah,
Woods,
yeah.
and it's over.
Yeah.
So that threw me for a little loop. And
Okay.
then they go to the attic all the way up top, and there's the handprints up there. And
Yeah.
oh, it's getting too real.
That's weird too, because like they go like up and down and up and down. It's like, wait, no, it's coming up here, Josh. Oh no, wait, it's coming from down here, Josh. Where are you, Josh?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, it's coming back up. It's like they're going all through the house.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, and then finally, I think Mike goes down to the basement, and Mike has the video camera, and he drops it, and then Heather goes in, and she's
But as he's going into the basement, you can hear Heather screaming.
right.
She like won't stop screaming.
Yeah.
It's like, and
Yeah.
then she like joins him downstairs and is still screaming.
Yep. And what do we see?
Just Mike standing in the corner.
Yep.
That was a good creepy one.
Yeah, and then she just falls, and then the camera falls. And that's
Yeah.
it. That's how it ends.
Yeah.
There's
What happened to him?
there's four alternate endings on this.
What?
They're all pretty much the same, but the only change is so the first one, Heather goes down there, Mike's still standing in the corner, but there's the twig figures in the room as well.
Whoa.
So it's pretty much the same, just with the twig figures. The next one, Mike is facing her with the twig figures.
Whoa.
The third one, Mike's hanging by like a noose, like he got hung.
What?
And then the fourth one, Mike's levitating.
Oh, fuck that.
And they all end with Heather falling.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think the one that they chose in the final cut is the best.
Yeah. Kind of keep it grounded.
And it's
in a way.
also just like, again, like the kids would stand in the corner. It ties it back, the kids are standing in the corner while the other one gets killed.
Yeah, that makes it creepy.
It's very interesting.
I don't know if I would have liked the levitating one. That might have been a little bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's one thing too, like some people say in the folklore, like the witch levitates. But yeah,
He's not the witch.
exactly. Yeah.
I did notice when they were approaching the house or when they were like searching through the first floor, at a certain point you see almost like a noose. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw
really?
that.
I didn't notice
like, it's
that.
like outside of the house.
I
think.
didn't notice that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way it ended.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
did.
creepy having the camera follow the ground and then credits roll.
Yeah. And again, and all we know is that they were never found.
Yeah.
And if you have any information on them, call the whatever, county police department and let them know.
Yeah. It would have been creepy though if they had the stick figures down there.
But it just at the
It
same
didn't-
time
it didn't
it
need
doesn't really add anything for me, at least. We already know that, the stick figures are weird.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
That would have just confirmed, oh, this is the witch's house.
yeah,
You're dead.
exactly. We already know this place is kind of weird.
Yeah. The handprints did it enough.
Yeah. So what do you like if we were to kind of give our conclusions, like what do you think happened?
Well, according to the lore you were saying is the kids had to stand in the corner while he kills them one by one and then comes and grabs the next one. So I wonder, did Heather like become possessed as well and had to stand in a corner while they had to listen to Josh die?
Well, I think see the Josh thing's kind of confusing. So I think Heather gets killed, and then Mike's gonna get killed.
Okay.
I think that's what they were trying to set up.
Yeah.
And
But
I
that,
guess
that doesn't make sense why she was screaming through the house. She was like running downstairs screaming, ah! Or was that her screams?
I think it was her screams. I think she's just freaked out. She's like, "What is this? Like, where's Josh? We're trying to find Josh."
And just starts screaming.
Yeah, and she's just horrified. And then she sees Mike in the corner, and that probably freaks her out even more.
Yeah.
And then kaboom, she falls.
You think she got like an axe in the back of the head, and then that's why
don't
her
know.
camera fell?
I don't know. There's there's a lot of theories. There's theories that Josh went crazy and killed them. There's theories that Mike was in. There's theories that Josh and Mike were out to make a snuff film and they were killing Heather on purpose.
Whoa.
But it doesn't really fit the narrative. I mean, it doesn't really fit the narrative of the movie because all three of them went missing.
Yeah.
So it very well could be Josh went crazy and just never lived in the woods, I guess, as a crazy guy.
Yeah.
Because it's like if Josh and Mike were both in on it, then it's like, why are they still missing? Unless they went and changed their names or something, or I don't know. But
All three of them probably got killed by whatever it is.
yeah, and there's theories that Mary Brown was followed them into the woods and did all that.
That's who I would think when they were suggesting that it's rednecks. Like Mary Brown's like
Yeah.
probably the one, my number one suspect.
One thing that I read online is like when they go when they go to her house, there's a gate, and it's like it kind of looks like how the stick figures are. It's kind of like twigs bundled with twine and stuff.
And Heather's all like, I don't even know how to open
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and people are like, well, maybe that's why she's making a she that's just what she does. Very well could be. And then the whole thing is like, well, no one knows that they're out there. It's like, she could have followed them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I think they go talk to Mary Brown. Then did they go to the motel? I can't remember. But they definitely go talk to the two fishermen, and then they go... I mean, hell, it could have been the two fishermen, too. They could have just followed them. Because right after the two fishermen, they definitely go into the woods.
Yeah.
So it could have been the fishermen. It could have been Mary Brown. Maybe both. Maybe all of them.
Maybe it was the witch.
Maybe it's the witch. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe there is a witch out there.
There was some sort of magic going on if he's standing in the corner.
And it's the weird stuff with the slime.
Yeah, the slime.
You know.
The rock suddenly appearing.
There's this thing that apparently Josh knocks over rocks initially when they go to it's some people think like, oh, maybe that's why he disappears, because he initially disturbed, because like really I kind of noticed once they go to and see the rocks for the first time, and when Josh knocks it over, that's when like shit really starts to go south for all them.
Yeah.
And
doesn't Heather knock over some rocks too? And she's like, "Oh, I better."
no,
put these
I think
back."
that was Josh,
Was
and
that
then
Josh?
she's the one who picks it up, I think, because she's like, "Did you just knock that over?" And he's like, "I don't know."
She says, "Don't want to disturb this stuff."
Yeah,
Tries
yeah,
putting it back together.
yeah. And then they don't show it in the final version of the film, but Josh brings up, he's like, "You took that figure too, and put it back and this and that." So I guess Heather took one of the twig figures maybe when they first saw them.
Oh.
I don't know, but it's interesting. They cut a lot. They had to have. This movie's only an hour and 21 minutes, and it was initially anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours long. So they cut out a lot of stuff.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. There's one someone found, it was 25 minutes. I only found like a minute of it, where they talk about, it's before they go into the woods. I think it's like their first night of being together. They talk about this thing called Crybaby Bridge, where Heather's saying, so when we were interviewing townspeople today, one of them brought up the legend of Crybaby Bridge, where it's a bridge in blah 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 town that apparently KKK members back in the day, I guess it was a highly populated KKK area in the past, they hung a black infant off the bridge.
God.
And they say, like, at a certain time of night, you can hear the baby crying, and also a train going by, because I guess a train went by when they had something like that. And they cut all that out of the movie. I guess people claim on the internet they the filmmakers did that to kind of as like a test run for the actors. You know, kind of like, okay, we're gonna go do this as like kind of like the first thing, and then we'll go into the Blair Witch stuff tomorrow in the woods.
Oh.
And then you can find it on YouTube. There's like 6 minutes of footage of them in the motel room where Mike and Josh are reciting poems.
Oh god.
It's like slam poetry.
Oh no.
They're actually pretty good. I was
Really?
actually Mike like is actually like they're both like Josh has to read off of something, but Mike says like 2 or 3 poems all off like the cuff, and it's like whoa. I was like, oh boy. It is kind of like, okay, you guys are just pretentious college students, but it's also like I was like, damn. I'm like, okay. Not bad.
Did the director's commentary have a lot going on at the house scene at the end?
Not really. I think they bring up like they got like kids, like maybe like some of the crew's like nieces and nephews to like put the handprints on the house and everything. Just stuff like that. Nothing too much. And just how like it was a big scare in the theater.
Yeah. I wonder if you can still find the house.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely interesting watching it with the directors. It was written, directed, and edited by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. And yeah, it was that's one thing too. None of these people really went on to do anything.
Yeah. Eduardo Sanchez sounds a little familiar, but I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I guess the Horror is Dead video, he claims that they were Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez were approached to direct one of the Exorcist prequels that came out in the mid 2000s, and they're just like, no. They actually turned it down. They're like, look, like, you know, we're not really that great. Like, we kind of just run around the woods with 16 millimeter cameras and video. Like, we don't think we could handle an actual like big budget production.
Wow.
Which, if anything, at least they know their place.
Yeah,
you know,
honest.
because that's one thing too. The guy really goes in. It's like these guys were just, you know, film students that didn't know what they were doing. They're just out in the woods, you know. And they kind of say that in the commentary too. They're like, you know, like we don't know really. We're not really that film savvy, so we don't know like what to point out in this commentary.
Whoa.
But at the same time, you know, like I don't think these people were hacks. I think they did set out. They were successful.
Yeah.
You know, they set out to do. In a way, it's kind of like Jaws. It's like it was kind of like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Like they really struck gold with it.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah, not the greatest, but I think it's something that, you know, especially around this time of year, it's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
And again, I really buy these people.
Yeah.
Everything they say, you know, just all the stuff, all their arguments, you know, like everything they say towards each other.
Do you think it'd be worth to see Blair Witch 2?
Oh, we didn't even talk about they made sequels. That came out like right after this, and I watched it, and I don't recommend it. I would, if you have an interest, if you like this so much that you're like, you want to see more, then yeah, watch it, but I didn't get anything out of it.
Oh.
It's really different. It's an actual movie. It's not found footage,
Okay.
which I respect, you know, because it's like, I respect the fact they're like, let's not try to do it again. Let's just make it an actual film. Like, I respect that, but it's just so uninteresting.
Was it the same directors?
I don't think so. I think it was like another crew of people, I think. Maybe the same producers, maybe, but I don't think the same, writers and directors and whatnot. But yeah, just didn't do anything for me. Kind of boring. Wasn't really that interesting. I don't know.
I was looking up the 2016 remake of Blair Witch.
Oh, so is that what is it a remake?
It must be.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is it a reboot / remake?
Yeah. But I saw one of the images. It looks like it actually shows like the monster.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting to check out.
Yeah. I don't know. I know a lot of people were disappointed when that came out. I mean, I don't know. I haven't bothered to watch it, but again, we were kind of talking. It's like that almost kind of ruins the mythos, you know, of
Yeah.
actually showing the witch.
Yeah.
It's like maybe that was in detriment to the movie. I don't know.
Maybe that's why it wasn't a big hit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll watch it, but
I'm interested. I just want to see the creature.
yeah. What does it look like? Did you actually see what it looks like?
Yeah, it looks like it has really long legs and
No.
long arms and
Maybe they're trying to like make
little
it
hairy.
look like the stick figure almost.
Yeah. We should look up a clip or something after
Yeah,
this.
we should. Yeah.
That's another thing. Like Cloverfield, they show the monster.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Not a lot, but they do show it.
maybe that's why this one isn't resonating as much with me, is because you do get these other ones, the zombie ones, the Cloverfields, and all those where they show the monsters at the end, and it's kind of creepy. And this one, you're kind of expecting to see something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
But then, it's the woods. Movie's over.
Yeah. I think maybe it's because maybe they would have, but they just didn't have the budget to like create like an actual like an effective, realistic witch, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were gonna show the one dude all dressed up, but it was gonna be really quick and in the dark, like kind of like, what is this?
But yeah, maybe that's what made all of the kids believe it and want to investigate it back then.
Yeah.
Is not showing what it was.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta solve this mystery. Like we
Yeah.
got missing people here.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, you bringing up solving mysteries. This movie was such a success. Cartoon Network, in October of 1999, put this little almost 20-minute parody of the Blair Witch Project where it's Scooby-Doo. And it's all in real life except for the Scooby-Doo characters are animated. So there's like footage of woods with like the characters, just the cartoon characters superimposed over it's pretty funny. And I find it hilarious. It's like, it's so funny, like kids watching it. It's like, what kids have even got that? When Cartoon Network, like, because I was watching, I don't remember this at all, but I was watching Cartoon Network around that time. And if I were to have seen that, I would have been like, wait, why are they in the woods? Like, what is this? It's pretty funny.
I gotta watch that one. I know
It was, it was amusing. It's pretty amusing.
Is it shot like found footage too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they even reference things like with the map, like Scooby and Shaggy ate the map. That's why the map's gone.
Oh,
yeah, we
no.
put Tabasco on and it was pretty good, huh, Scoob? Like, it's just, it's really funny. It works in a way where it's like, yeah, it's like, this is, it is kind of like, I'm sure an adult will get a kick out of it, and so would a kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, like the act, I know Heather Donahue went on talk shows. I think the directors did too, and made $140 million, over $140 million domestically,
Not bad.
which is pretty insane.
On a budget of like what, 300,000 or
Yeah.
something. It was a pretty small budget.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, again, lightning in a bottle. Like, it really was effective. And some people will think that, it wasn't for the best. Some people, people think it was made by hack frauds, that it's awful craftsmanship for filmmaking, just talentless. But I don't know. I think there's something there.
I wouldn't say talentless.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, I think you'd have to have some kind of talent to pull that off,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes, but it also says something that these people never really went on to do anything else. But
Yeah, I haven't seen Heather in anything else.
yeah, or even the other guys. But
Yeah.
I think it served its purpose. Like, it definitely served its purpose for sure. But yeah, it's a little interesting little flick.
The Blair Witch Project.
Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 stars. Thumbs up, creative, inventive, and ingenious.
Wow.
And a lot of people are like, you gave that 4 out of 4 stars, but you always ripped apart the Friday the 13th movies that actually had a craftsmanship to them and this and that. I don't know. Roger Ebert was a goofy guy.
Yeah, you never can tell what he's gonna like.
Exactly. He didn't like Home Alone 1 and 2, but he liked Home Alone 3.
What?
I know, exactly. Even Gene Siskel's like, wait, what? On the show.
Starting to grow on
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
The third one is good. I don't even know the third one. I don't think I've seen it.
It's not good. There's no Macaulay Culkin.
What?
Come on.
How do you not have Culkin?
Exactly. They're making a new one too.
I think I might have heard something
Home
about
Sweet Home Alone, I think is what they're calling it. So I
Oh,
think this
God.
little British kid.
it. Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Bring back Culkin.
And just make something else. I don't know. Be more creative. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about the Blair Witch Project? I think I got everything.
I can't think of anything to say.
Yeah,
about it.
I hope it was a good choice on my end. I chose, in case you couldn't tell, since I was the one predominantly talking about this, I chose this one
I'm glad I
for
finally watched it.
month of October. I'm glad.
Watched it for the culture.
Yeah, like it does have its place in horror and even movie history, in my opinion,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, depending on your opinion. But yeah, we talked about doing scary stuff for October, and I thought it would have made it for a good discussion, and I think it did.
Yeah.
There's a lot to discuss on this movie.
It's a fun one.
Um,
What would you give it?
oh, that's
out
okay.
of 5.
I give it 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. I'd probably do 2 out of 5.
Okay.
I don't think I'll revisit it.
Okay.
I might go and peek at the 2016 version just
Yeah.
to see the clips like we were talking about. Maybe take a peek
That
at
and that
22.
one's found footage too, right? They style it like found footage.
I don't know. It didn't look like it from the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it is.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, it was just okay. It was okay for me.
I give it a 3 out of 5 because I think it's a passing grade. I think it's a
Yeah.
passing grade for me.
That makes sense. I wonder if I would have been more into it if I was a little bit older in '99 and was into the whole internet culture and everything
Yeah.
and was ready to investigate.
Yeah.
But I think I was like 5.
Yeah, exactly. But it does it is cool to see all the 90s stuff again. Oh, one thing I'll ask you. Do you think this holds up? Do you think this is dated?
Not really. I mean,
I
you
don't
can
think
tell
so.
it's in the '90s,
Right.
but once they get into the woods, it looks like it could be made today.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's really that like, oh my god, this I'm sure kids nowadays will be like, oh, this is old. But if you don't have that mindset, I don't think it's really that dated personally. I mean, really they shot it 24 years ago, almost exactly, October of 97.
Whoa.
That's about
Makes
as
me feel
old as I know. Yeah, it's about as old as we are. So, yeah, it's still rather like, kind of a newish kind of movie for, I mean, I guess not really, but compared to other things, compared to like say your Psychos or the Universal horror movies that came out like almost 100 years ago, it's a little more fresh. But, yeah.
You could probably even go out and make this today with an iPhone, just have it on record and set up a tent and a couple stick figures. You could do it today.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. But yeah, so should we talk about possible things we might do the next coming weeks, or?
Yeah, so we missed Parasite. No, not Parasite. James Gunn's film. Slither.
We can still do it though. I'm down for anything. It's up
Yeah.
to you guys. I'll talk about anything.
Well,
We're definitely gonna do the Night of the Living Dead remake.
for like Halloween.
Yeah.
Although, did you see that what's his name? God damn it. Last Night in Soho is gonna be coming out.
The Edgar Wright movie?
Edgar Wright.
I want to see that.
I want to see it too. I
Yeah.
have no idea what it's about.
It's something like I think it's contemporary, but it also goes back in the past.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
I just trust Edgar Wright
Yeah.
to make anything good.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. When does that come out? Does it come out this month?
It's like the 30th.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should all go watch
We
it on
should,
Halloween
dude.
or
I'll
something.
go see it with you.
That'd be hella
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be awesome.
Then we can talk
That looks
about it.
really cool.
Yeah. Slither was okay. Hola.
Hi.
What's up? Okay. We're almost done.
Food's on the table.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh.
Food. Yeah, I watched Slither. It was okay.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, I did watch
Okay.
it. I watched that one and Night of the Living Dead like a couple days apart.
Okay.
Really liked revisiting Night of the Living Dead.
I still have yet to do that. I want to do it closer to if we talk about it, I want to do it closer to that.
I gotta rewatch the original because I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
seen
gonna
that
be a
in
big
long
one
time.
too. This was already like what I want to do. I want to watch the original, and I want to watch the remake. Obviously, I want to watch the work print again.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen the work print all the way through.
I think since I watched the remake, I should watch the work print. You want to watch
It's
it together or something?
Sure,
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
man. I'd be
real
down.
fun.
I know it's a little hard to watch because it's just such awful quality.
Well, that's the thing about
But I'll
watching
watch
the
it.
remake is it has weird cuts. Like it's almost made for TV.
Oh
Like it'll
yeah.
fade to black and then
Yeah.
it'll come back.
Yeah.
with like a pan out of the
Yeah,
house.
that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they don't show any kills, pretty much.
Right.
Which you said the work print does.
Yeah, they had to cut it all out because they were gonna get. I think this is right when the NC-17 rating got. I think 1990, which is when the movie came out, they changed X to NC-17. So I think they were initially given an NC-17 rating, and they cut all that stuff out to get the R.
I mean, what was so bad? I wonder.
That's stupid.
I'm interested to
Oh,
see the
dude,
print.
so many movies back then got hacked to shreds because of stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's so, I feel bad for Tom Savini because like Tom Savini talks about it, he's like, he's like, but I think it works kind of well because it leaves your mind's eye to imagine what's going on. And I was just like, Tom, I know that's how you justify how all your work got cut out, but it's like, nah, man, that should have been in there.
Yeah.
And it's like that's probably just how Tom Savini probably helps him sleep at night.
Yeah.
All of his hard work got cut out.
Especially listening to him on one of those podcasts. Who's that director that you hate? He
don't
plays
hate
the
him.
Bear Jew.
Oh, Eli Roth?
Eli
I don't
Roth.
hate him. I just don't like him. I don't like his movies.
He was on.
He's an interesting person.
He was on Eli Roth's podcast talking to him, and he's like going into detail about how he sets up all these gory kills.
Yeah.
And, how he designs them and everything, and then to have it all cut out like that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him
Yeah,
trying
man.
to justify
it's
it.
it's a big bummer.
That is a bummer.
And the really big bummer about it is the work print will probably be the best we'll ever be able to watch that stuff because I'm sure the studio got rid of all the film negative of that, which is a travesty. It's just, I can't stand that.
And the work print that you sent me, it looks like it's 480p.
Yeah.
It's like
well, it's
not
sourced
high
from a
definition one.
VHS tape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna look
it's
awful.
it's terrible. Yeah, but
That might add to it though.
I know. Yeah,
Might add to the
yeah.
lore.
It's like we're like peeking in on something we shouldn't be peeking in on. Technically, we're not supposed to watch that, but
Yeah.
fuck the studio.
Oh, and so I went through Slither with clean eyes. I actually thought that you guys were talking about another film. Fuck. I sent it to you guys. What was that other film?
Oh, yeah, John knew about it. I'd never heard of it.
Dude, that's a good one too.
Okay.
It was called like Spikes or something.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
involves spiky monsters.
That I have not seen.
But Slither, I saw a little thing online. James Gunn retweeted it. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is James Gunn's first film." I didn't know Slither
Was it his first film?
I think it was his premiere film.
Really? I thought he'd done stuff. I don't think that's true.
No?
I think he did trauma movies a bunch before that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I read it wrong.
Maybe I think it was his first major studio film that he
Maybe.
directed.
But it's cool to see all the actors that he uses in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
all of his other films.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in there. He's even in it for a second.
What?
He's talking to the main chick in the beginning
Oh, that's cool.
for a second at the school. She's a teacher, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's like a fellow teacher talking to her.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. It's Slither's fine. It's not a favorite of mine.
No, yeah, I wouldn't call it my favorite.
Yeah, it's got some cool effects. I like that era. My brother and I were watching this show called Kenny versus Spenny last night, and it was from the it was aired in the mid 2000s, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. Like that era.
Oh, definitely.
So it kind of.
Because that's when we were growing up.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of like I like it in that regard. I like, it's not bad. There's some cool stuff in it, but it's not, I wouldn't, if someone wanted to watch a really good creature feature, that wouldn't be at the top of my list.
No.
But it's still fun.
Yeah. Splinter is the other film that I'm
That's
thinking
what it
of.
is. Okay.
Splinter came out in 2008, so it was after Slither.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Is that one like a creature feature too?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Slither is like the organism is controlling them, right? And
Yeah,
like,
they're
you
almost
could-
kind of like zombies in a way,
Yeah.
kind of.
I know that the one chick got possessed in the bathtub in Slither, and she could see like all of the universe and
yeah.
how it like conquered other
Yeah.
worlds and stuff, and now it's here
Yep.
to take over Earth.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think Splinter, the one that comes out a few years later, it's kind of the same organism coming to take over and possess people and kill them. I definitely recommend Splinter. You should
Okay.
watch that one.
Nice. You like that better than Slither?
I haven't seen it since it came out,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
I think it's a little bit more serious too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Slither is very comedic.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very like horror comedy.
Yeah.
I think that's why it didn't do well at the time. I think people kind of didn't know what to make of it because it didn't make a lot of money. That might be why.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't get it. What is this?
What do you think? What do you want to watch next week? It's gonna be today's the 16th.
I mean, hey, this is what I chose, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm whatever you guys want to do.
We have to see if Roman's down because I think it might be his week to pick.
Yeah.
We could even do like a double feature if you want to like cram Slither in.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
And then cram Romans in as well.
That definitely works for me.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
There's a new Chucky TV show out right now.
Oh,
So
really?
a lot of people are talking about Child's Play and whatnot. And of course, everybody's talking about Halloween, the movies.
Yeah.
And what
Have
else
you
is-
watched anything else good lately?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot. I watched all the Universal Frankenstein movies.
Oh, the like classics.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
nice.
watched all the Christopher Lee Dracula movies.
Whoa, how are those?
A lot of them. Well, I mean, some are bad, some are good, some are eh. I like them, even the bad ones. He's just it's Christopher Lee, man. Christopher Lee is a great Dracula.
Count Dooku.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's the Count. He's the Count in many ways. What else have I watched? I watched Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. We were talking about that over text.
Is that one any good?
Not really. But it's kind of cool seeing like a comic book movie from that era. It was
80s.
like in 1982, I think it came out.
Wow.
And it's a strange entry in Wes Craven's filmography. 'Cause you go from like The Hills Have Eyes to that to like A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's very different. But it's fun for what it is.
I remember
know?
like 2018, 2019, they were going to launch another Swamp Thing TV show.
Didn't they make a season, like a full season for it, and then they canceled it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend said it's really good.
Oh, really?
I've never read Swamp Thing, the comics, but I hear it's good.
I don't know much about the character.
Yeah, me neither, aside from what's in the movie. He's like a scientist that gets mutated
Oh.
into Swamp Thing.
Huh.
But yeah, it's not really. I mean, it kind of fits for this time of year. I mean, Wes. I showed you guys the GIF of the basketball head explosion.
Is that from the...
No, that's from Deadly Friend.
Oh, okay.
It's a Wes Craven movie that just came out on Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
For the first time, people have been asking it for years, and I watched a little bit of that. It's a really bad movie.
But that kill that you said...
That's the
looks
best part of the movie.
amazing.
It's a great kill.
How does basketball do that?
I know, exactly. Out of context, it's like, what the fuck is it? So the chick that throws the basketball has just been reanimated. She dies, and her friend brings her back to life with robot parts. So she's got like superhuman strength. So that's why the basketball. It's so silly.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's very silly. John brought up how like the production behind it was a mess, and it was like they initially started out making it as like a science fiction teenage drama.
What?
And then the studio's like, you're Wes Craven, make it scary, make it scary, make it gory, which then kind of fucked them over too, because they then also had cut some of the gore out. But it's a weird movie. It's not very good. I think if they just didn't have all the studio meddling, it would have been a lot better. It's weird because sometimes studio meddling kind of works, and sometimes it doesn't work. It's very mishmashy, but yeah, that's a goofy one. Great head explosion though. Great head explosion. What about you? What have you been watching? You said you watched Trick or Treat?
Yeah, Mark suggested that one.
What did you think of that?
It was okay.
Yeah,
For what it was.
I think it's a better one from that era,
Yeah, I think
like
it was
the
like
2000s.
2007.
Yeah, it's confusing because I think in your text you put 2009 and you're like, oh, sorry. But it's weird because that's when it came out, I think, in theaters. It got-
2009?
yeah, but it was made in 2006 or 7. It was going to have a release in 2007, but they had trouble finding a studio to put it out with.
Huh.
And it finally came out in still like a very small release in 2009. It's really weird.
Oh. I feel like I remember seeing that DVD in Blockbuster.
Yeah.
On the shelves.
I
all the
think I
time.
did too.
It looked creepy. I
Yeah.
avoided it.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Mark's like, "You got to see this one. It's good. Good cast.
Yeah.
A lot of good people
Yeah.
in that one. One of the chicks is from one of those vampire shows. True Blood, I think.
One of the chicks from X-Men. She's like Rogue in the X-Men movies, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like her.
They played with time a lot in that one.
They do. It's like Pulp Fiction almost.
Yeah, I did
was,
like
kinda
that. That was cool.
Told out of order. That was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's fun, especially this time of year.
And the main kid on the cover, the Sackboy looking kid.
Yeah.
He's a cool character design.
Yeah,
I like
NECA
that.
made a figure of him. I can't remember if
really?
John picked him up or not. I didn't.
No, yeah.
I
He's
didn't. He's cool, but I just couldn't.
cool.
I kind of wanted to, but I'm like, no. Save it for another Freddy or another Jason or somebody.
And for a movie named Trick or Treat, it was very Halloween centric, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
it's a
out
good one
there
to watch.
trick-or-treating
Good one to watch this
and
time
all
of
the
year.
decorations.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was good for this time of year.
Yeah,
definitely.
very cool set design and costume design in it too.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell this is around Halloween.
Get you in the mood for the season.
Yeah. What else have you watched?
Not too much horror. I was telling you about. I was watching The Sopranos. I'm up to season 4. Squid Games was very good, like everybody's been saying. I recommend it. I like
Need
that
to
one because
watch
it's
that.
very colorful. A lot of good set designs.
Oh, nice.
The acting's good. I watched the dub version, the English dubs.
Oh, so it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
They give you the option?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it shows up with the English dubs, so I just went with it.
Oh, okay.
I wish I would have watched it in Korean.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah.
a good Korean film. If you watch it with the subtitles, it turns out really good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's how a lot of people prefer it. Like, they don't like dubbing.
Yeah. It reminded me though that I love Korean cinema a lot
Yeah.
too. Thinking of Parasite.
Yeah.
But that same director of Parasite did another good one, The Host.
I was just going to bring that
in
up.
2006.
I haven't seen that. I've seen clips.
You haven't seen The Host?
No,
That
I need to
one's a
watch
good
it.
one,
Yeah,
dude.
I need
That'd
to
be a
watch
good
it.
monster one for the Halloween podcast
Yeah,
too.
yeah, definitely. I need to watch that. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's great.
Yeah, I really need to. It was Bong Joon-ho, I think his name is.
Bong Joon-ho or something.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Does he have
dope.
anything to do with Squid Game?
I don't think
Okay.
so. I didn't see his name mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, but love Korean cinema.
Yeah.
Oh, I rewatched Kung Fu Hustle again.
Oh,
I can't get
nice.
enough of that one.
Nice,
Still
man.
classic for me.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, you lent that to me. I'd never seen it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a fun one.
Chinese cinema's good.
Yeah.
Love it all.
Yeah, I like a lot of. I like I think we talked about like Hong Kong cinema
Yeah.
and all that. Japanese.
Oh, did you get a chance to see Venom 2?
No, I haven't even seen Venom 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not really missing much with these
Yeah.
ones.
I just, to me, it's just like it'd be so much cooler if Spider-Man were involved,
No spoilers.
Oh, wow.
No spoilers.
Boy. I heard something about, that might have happened in Venom 2. Or
Yeah.
Venom Let There Be Carnage, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's interesting with this new Spider-Man movie coming up. I wonder if they're gonna tie that into it, maybe.
The whole Marvel universe is getting shook up.
Yeah.
They had the What If cartoon show
I
on
still haven't
Disney
watched
Plus.
that.
I recommend it.
Okay.
I recommend that one.
I still haven't seen the Star Wars anime. I need to watch that still.
Oh, you haven't watched that one? That's
No,
good too.
I know. Yeah, it looks really cool.
At least the first episode, because
I
I
want
know
to watch
that-
all of it.
I think they actually made like a graphic novel or something, or a comic book called Ronin, just based off of the first
Oh,
episode.
wow. That's awesome.
I haven't read it or looked it up or anything, but
Okay.
I should, because that first episode's really good.
I'll have to watch it. I've been meaning to. It's just, I have so much other stuff, on my plate. It's hard to get
You're
around
watching
with all
the
this
classics,
stuff.
the Universal.
Yeah, I
gotta
had
go
to.
back
And
see those.
the Universal put out a 4K set. It had Dracula, Frankenstein, the Spanish Dracula.
What?
Yeah, Invisible Man, the Wolf Man. And I think that's it. I wish they included Bride of Frankenstein too.
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, they look really good. I've only watched Frankenstein yet, but I would imagine the others look really good too.
What's the one with Willy Wonka? Is that Bride of Frankenstein?
Wait, what?
The actor who plays Willy Wonka. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah.
That one's really great. That's a funny movie.
Speaking of Willy Wonka, you see that Timothy Chalamet is gonna be the next Willy Wonka.
No.
And it's gonna be like a prequel to
Yeah,
experience how we.
I
met
think
the
I heard
Oompa
something
Loompas.
that they were making a prequel.
That's interesting.
I don't get that. Why do we need a prequel?
Can't get enough of the Willy Wonkas.
I guess not. I thought we learned our lesson with the Johnny Depp one.
Nope.
Oh,
We're never gonna
God.
learn.
Ugh. Yeah, man. Like
They got it right the first movie.
they did.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have to make the Johnny Depp one.
No, it's just like Tim Burton just being goofy Tim Burton, and I mean, it's kind of cool. Christopher Lee shows up as Willy Wonka's dad, but it's like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Was he the dentist?
yeah. And again, they give Willy Wonka the backstory. It's like, why do we need a prequel? If people want a shitty Willy Wonka backstory prequel, just watch the shitty Tim Burton one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking when
I
it
don't
was.
get it.
announced.
Oh, his dad was a dentist. That's why he loves kids. It's so silly. It's so silly. Stop doing these awful background story things. It's just like, to me, it almost kind of, it just dilutes the character and makes him like less interesting. Really, it's like, what? It's like, let's just establish him as Willy Wonka, the candy guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's a eccentric.
Well,
Candy
he's
inventor.
mysterious too.
And that too.
When you first meet him, he like does the fake cane
Yes,
move and does a flip.
yes. I
It's like,
really
who is this
like.
guy?
That's what I like about that movie. I really like when like it's almost kind of eerie.
Yeah.
And like Charlie's walking out like at night around it, and then like the homeless guy, he says this weird little poem thing. He's like, up the rushing mountain, through the blah, blah, blah. We dare not go hunting for fear of little men. Like, nobody ever goes in. Nobody ever goes out. It's like, what is this place? Who is this Willy Wonka character?
Yeah.
And that's what I like, you know?
Yeah, the
it's kind of
mystery.
like, ooh. Yeah.
Now they want to just open the curtain and see who's back there.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, if people want it, that's fine, but I'm probably gonna stay away.
It's probably going to be very topical though, with all of the work strikes going on in the world
Oh,
right now
yeah.
in the U.S.
Yeah.
They're saying this might explain how Willy Wonka gets rid of his workers and goes and hires
Oh my
cheap
God,
Oompa
that's
Loompa labor.
hilarious. Doesn't that promote slave labor though? In a way?
Keep the politics out of my Willy Wonka
Yeah.
films, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can already see that.
Yeah. That's an interesting topic too. You know, where do we draw the line with that?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people didn't like about the new Candyman. I didn't like the new. I just thought it kind of, again, made the storyline a little. Just kind of took away from the original Candyman.
Really? I didn't watch it, the remake.
Have you seen the original?
Long time ago, yeah.
Okay.
Love Tony Todd.
Yeah, man.
Love me some Tony. That's why I picked Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so good in that one,
Yes,
too.
he is. Yeah. Yeah. They're making a new Scream. The Scream 5 trailer just came out.
I never watched any of those either.
So I like them. The fourth one was Wes Craven's last movie, and
Oh,
it's not
before he
that
passed?
great,
Uh-huh.
but it's kind of I have it because I have the first three. The only ones I really like are the first two.
Oh, okay.
First one's the best. I like the second one. Third and fourth one are just, but it's just like, why do we need more? It's just the only interesting thing about this new one is they're talking about. So Shaggy from the live action Scooby Doo's was in the first Scream.
He was like the villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're talking about he might be in this one,
Whoa.
but it's not confirmed. He's not on the cast and
I could
crew.
have sworn they killed him.
They drop a TV on him.
Yeah.
But like people are like, well, maybe that didn't kill him. Even Matthew Lillard's like, oh no, dude, I'll go drop a TV on myself right now. I won't die. Like stuff like that. If they bring him back, I'll even like read spoil. If they actually do bring him back, I might go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, then fuck it. I don't. It's like the new Halloween. Fuck it. I got the old ones. That's fine. James Wan just put out a movie called *Malignant*. Did you hear about that at all?
Dude, that was good.
Did you see it?
I watched it.
Okay,
Did
I
you
want to
watch
watch.
it?
No,
You haven't watched
I'm
that one?
not a big James Wan fan, but I've heard, and that I can support because it's like new. It's
Who's
like
James Wan?
he did the first Saw.
Oh.
He did Insidious.
Oh.
I think he had something to do with the Conjuring movies.
Wow.
Not a big fan of him, but
I
people
heard
said it-
so much good stuff on Twitter about *Malignant*. I was like, all right, I guess
yeah,
I gotta watch
exactly.
it.
And that I can get behind because it's not the same shit again. It borrows things from other movies, but at least it's something. It's not, let's dig up this old franchise and make a new one of it.
Exactly.
It's not a Halloween. It's not a Scream. It's not.
Yeah, I think
Chucky.
that's kind of why I avoid all of those franchises too. Is there's so many.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to watch that many of the same thing over and over again? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's why deep down I'm avoiding them all.
Well, so in a way, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I like a lot of the old sequels, but to me, it becomes a time where like you got to strike while the iron's hot, which a lot of those franchises did.
Yeah.
Not just wait years and years and years and years. Oh, let's make another one.
He's back.
Yeah, it's just silly.
Well, that does it for the Blair Witch. Thanks for suggesting it, Ian.
Yeah, I'm glad at least you got some kind of kick out of it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
You know, and again, like really, like I could think of way better movies, you know, but it's just like, you know, I just thought it's a good discussion movie.
Yeah, and it was time for me to finally see it.
There you go.
Glad I watched it.
Yeah.
We'll try to cram in some more movies before October's over, some more horror films.
Yes.
And if not, we could even watch some horror films in November.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't need to be limited.
Yeah, we watch
Yeah.
whatever we want.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no holds barred here.
It's a free country.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, dude.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
fun.
Yes, very fun.
Signing off.
Yes. Until next time.